We are here at Louisiana Pacific, down in Carthage, Texas. It's been a minute since I've been down here. Minute. Man, it's probably been 2 years. Maybe. You guys see that stuff over there? Go on to Google. Yeah, go that way. Go on to Google and do a search for Louisiana Pacific in Carthage, Texas, and look at the way that they do the wood over there that they collect. See where that caution sign is? That's where you're going. It's kind of neat. They do it in a circle. But anyway, we're going to pick up some OSB. We beat that other truck driver here, thank God. You need to come to this side. There you go, because they got to come out this side too. And there we go. Stop it there. We're just going to wait in line until they get done. Here's what we're hauling. Brett went to go get a harness and paperwork. We're going to drape them here since we've got this, and then we're going to do all the rest of it out there on the road apparently. Man. Last time I was here, we just had them put our stuff on the top, and then we went out there to the road, climbed up there and did it on our own, but oh, Maverick's got a rule change or something. They don't want us doing that anymore, so this is the way we're going to do it, I guess. I don't care as long as it gets done and get home. And this is what we mean by just holding it tight so we can get out, and then we can do the rest of it out there. And there she is. We got this bump in the middle that's a little funky, but we got her tightened down. Don't look too bad. He's doing a good job, so yay. And we're back, trucking junkies. We are here in Fayetteville, Arkansas at Ride Out Lumber. Technically Arkansas Wholesale Lumber. Owned by Ride Out, who is actually owned by some lumber place in Illinois now. They sold it, I don't know, a couple of years ago. Ride Out was founded in my hometown. Went to school with some Ride Outs. The granddad's got a huge house. Maybe it's his dad. One of them got a huge house out there. Probably got his lumber for cost. That's the way I'd do it. Anyway, we got to get all this stuff off. Look. We got to get all that off. So that's what I'm going to do now. got a few more things to get off, and I was going to take this opportunity to answer some comments. Mr. Dale Berry's got a lot of questions, so I'm going to try to answer some of those questions. And let's go on with the questions. Mr. Dale Berry writes, how do you look at the recent truck news with all the acquisitions and bankruptcies, as well as the hiring freezes taking place? Well, here's what they don't tell you about all of these trucking companies go out of business. Every single hotshot person that's got a pickup and a trailer is considered a trucking company, and there's thousands of them. And when they give you those stats, those are the ones they're really talking about. 90%, probably 95% of the trucking companies that you see go into bankruptcy and fold are single operator truck companies. They are not these big truck companies that have all these contracts and keep us moving like Maverick does. All right, you got to think about that. There's probably 100,000 trucking companies in America. All right, probably more than that. You know, and when times get hard like this, when the economy tanks, a lot of those owner operators shut down their business and they go work for a different company. Right? They come to Maverick, or they go to, you know, MT or Melton, or somebody else that can keep them rolling and keep the money on. Question number 2. It sounds like this is all from Dale Berry. It sounds like Maverick works with you amazingly for needed home time or dock appointments and such. Is that true? Well, yes, it is true. You have to plan for that stuff. That's part of your planning. All right. So I plan my doctor's appointments out every 6 months, dental and doctor all at the same time. So I only have to take 1 day off. And you have to put those request times off in at least 10 days before the appointment so that they know they need to get you home. I try to put them in 3-4 weeks ahead of time. That way there's no worry about it. I don't have to, there's no stress on me at all. So you have to plan that stuff out, just like planning your loads. I can barely get a 34 reset over the weekend and haven't been home in almost 7 weeks. My doctor's appointments or dentist are not over the weekend. All right, and then another comment. He says that he'll be close to one of our terminals. I don't want to give out where he lives. Close to living by one of our terminals when he comes to work. He's got 6 months of flatbed experience. He said, will Maverick give me additional training as to how they want securement? Yes. Every single person has to go through a week full of securement, 7 days. Maverick has certain ways they want to do things within the green book, which is our rule book for DOT, right? They have rules in there, and Maverick goes to those rules and most of the time beyond those rules. So they will train you how they want you to secure stuff. Do you know the process for new hire with experience? Yes. So you'll go through basically a week of orientation, and then you'll go into a week of securement. And depending on how much driving experience you have, you may spend 1 to 3 weeks with a driver trainer. I have heard of some guys not going into a trainer truck at all, but that's going to depend on your experience. It looks like Maverick is adding on to their North Little Rock offices. What's going in on the terminals? Well, there's 2 buildings going up. One of them, they are rebuilding our wash bay. So we had an old wash bay. They'd go in there and wash the truck, whatever. And now they're going to have a brand new bay. And the other building that's going up on the back side of our property is going to be the new equipment shed. So the wash bay and the equipment area were both in the same building, and now they're separating those 2. Last question for Mr. Dale Berry. It says, I hope you get to Maverick, man. I really do. It says, once you discussed your pay, I discuss my pay every year. Every year in January, I do a pay, what I got paid for the year before. And most of the time I separate this stuff out, but it says, doesn't that include additional pay for training? Yes, it does. How much more, if so? Well, for trainers, it really depends on how many students you take. You know, I take anywhere from 8 to 10 students a year, usually around that 8 mark. That gives me enough time to, you know, take a vacation and go to my doctor's appointments and take a rest in between students, because some students are more stressful than others, you know, and you need a break, you need a mental break so that you can prepare for your next student, right? But it all depends. Mine usually averages around the $12,000 mark is where I'm averaging. But Maverick's pay is pretty good. How much you getting paid per mile right now as a new student? You get 50, I think it's 56 cents. I think it's 56 cents a mile for a new hire. Now, if you have experience, you'll get paid a little more. You'll have to discuss that with your recruiter when you get a hold of them. But with training, you get paid for the first 2 weeks that they're on the truck. You get paid when they graduate off your truck, and then you get paid when they deliver their first load. So you get 4 payments on that driver, right, when they're students. And then after that, you get a penny a mile for every mile that they drive for the first year. So it's pretty good.